This is Women for Gun Rights with your host Amanda Suffolcool, part of the DC Project.
Hey folks, welcome to another amazing Friday with another amazing gal. We have with us Natalee Widner, and you're meeting her now. You're going to get to know her more and more and more as you see her and her blog, The Chronicles of the Range Monkey. So Natalee, thanks for joining us on Women for Gun Rights. I have to say that it's pretty amazing to have a gal with your skills and ability and age involved in things that are Second Amendment related in the way that you are, because you are so fully immersed in that it is amazing. So how did you get started doing things when it came to guns? Because in case you haven't noticed, you're a girl.
Well, of course, well, when I was younger, I worked on a farm. So, rural areas where you tend to do a lot of hunting, and, I did 4-H. I competed in the 40 or the 22 pistol leagues and the rifle leagues and all of that when I was a young teenager. And that was just so much fun. That was the thing I looked forward to doing every week. And my dad would take me, and it was just a really fun time. And, then once I started, getting jobs and stuff, it wasn't all gun related. I mean, I was a waitress and I was this, that, and the other thing. And then my dad came downstairs one morning and said, hey, we have this class that we have to teach in Idaho, and your mom is sick and can't make it. So can you come and be our range safety officer? Because I helped a lot with that during 4-H. I was a little RSO. Mm-hmm. And so I just said, yeah, let's do it. And ever since then, I've just been the range monkey, and I've just kind of fallen in love with the career and the community. And it's just it's been an adventure. I didn't really see this coming, but honestly, this feels like the best decision I ever made.
Okay, well that makes, there's so many times when life decisions happen because opportunity is kind of tossed at you, and you have an opportunity, and then you just grab it and go, because it legitimately makes sense to do or to help or whatever, and then the next thing you know, you're doing it. So when you say your mom was not well and your dad was teaching a class, so your parents are both engaged in active self-protection, and that group of the ASP folks, if you will. And so you're kind of genetically inclined to be involved in the Second Amendment world a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, my mom is the CEO of Active Self-Protection, so I've kind of gotten to meet some of the greatest people in this community. I've gotten to study under so many more of them, It's been really amazing, the opportunities that I've been given. So I've really been trying to take advantage of the fact that I'm hearing these one-on-one lessons with some of the greatest instructors. It is just a huge dream come true, honestly.
So, and so last year, the first time that I actually ran into you on the range where we were doing range things together was at a Masad Ayub, the Mag 40 class. And so you've been training with some of the greats in the industry way before that class.
Yeah. I mean, Neil Widner, my dad, has been teaching me since I was, 12. So I've gotten a lot of help from him. Masad Ayub was a huge impact on my knowledge skill set, and with the knowledge that I have to use every day for work. His voice pops into my head all the time. John Murphy was another really good instructor that I got to work under. Brian Hill, I just got to work with him this year, and that was at the Mingle. You were there down in Georgia with the Complete Combatant. God, it's been so much fun to be able to be friends with these instructors. I mean, you were at the Mag 40 and you were at the Mingle, and everyone's just friends, and everyone just wants everybody else to get better. And I just love that it works like that, and that this community isn't as competitive as a lot of other communities.
Right. Yeah, I think that a lot of in a lot of cases in the shooting community, the competition is with yourself. It is not with the person that's on the range to the right or to the left of you. It's like, how am I doing compared to how was I doing, or how am I having a good day, or am I having a bad day, or did I learn something? Yeah. You know, those types of things. And everybody, when you do well, everybody wishes you well, and they cheer you. And if they have advice or ideas, they're more than willing to share them.
Right.
Kelly Pigeon rolls out this thing. Are you open to feedback? And that means, hold on, something's coming, right?
Yep. Brace yourself.
Right, but it's all well intentioned, and it's all intended to help you be better, get better. So you mentioned Brian Hill. I have to say that I think Brian Hill is probably one of the better instructors when it comes to trying to understand the human body as it interacts with the firearm. You know, when you do this, it does that kind of thing. So what was your thoughts on training with Brian?
Something that I noticed was different with Brian Hill's teaching versus some of the other instructors that I've worked with is that, do you think it was maybe the first 45 minutes, the first hour of the class was kind of the safety brief and the things that we're going to have to watch for. It wasn't all, safety related, but it was all, it was him teaching us the thought behind what we're going to put into practice here in a minute. Mm-hmm. We spent as much time talking and asking questions to understand why we were doing what we were doing in the shooting portion. And we spent as much time talking about that as we did shooting. And I thought that was really good because, a lot of the instructors that you go to, they'll tell you, don't jerk the trigger. And they won't tell you what that means or how to not do it or what will happen if you do. And Brian Hill just goes over all of those things. And I instruct at the gun range that I work at, and I've been mentioning Brian Hill's name a few times because of things that he taught me during that class. He said a lot of things that I haven't really ever thought about, I guess. It was all kind of common sense. I was like, oh yeah, I should know that.
But he makes it click together in a way to where it's like, okay, he's telling you what he's going to teach you. And then he summarizes what he told you so that it kind of prepares your mind to do it. And not just to do it, but it's like, this is what we're doing and why we're doing that thing. Because otherwise you can end up with really good drills, but they don't stick with you because you don't really have the why that ties to.
Yeah, the learning is as important as the practice, 100%. I mean, you can go practice at the range every day, but if you don't have a good instructor teaching you the how and why not, then you're not going to get any better just working off of yourself.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I tell folks that I try to take 1 or 2 instructor classes a year where I'm the student, and just to keep honing the skills, learning new things, and learning from different people. I talked to a guy the other day who was like my instructor. And I said something about why I train here and here and here. And he was like, now anything I want to know, my instructor knows it. And I'm like, wow, I think I want to know that instructor because he's got to be amazing, right?
Right. He must know everything.
He must know everything. And it's like, I don't think that's how that works. Everybody teaches a little bit differently. They may teach the same concepts, but they teach it a little differently, and you absorb a different piece of it, all of that kind of stuff. So you work at a range. What's your position? What do you do? How long you been there?
That's a complicated question. So I work at a gun range. We are the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance in Sioux Falls. I work behind the counter there, so I am a range safety officer. And then we also have a restaurant and an event center and stuff like that. I work security for the concerts that we put on. But, just the gun range part of it, I am answering people's questions about different classes and stuff, trying to figure out what they would best benefit from, whether it's, a one-on-one class, a legal class, a pepper spray class, or just a little bit of workout on the range. Maybe they should just come to ladies' night if they are just looking to get a little bit more comfortable. I really love working one-on-one with people and trying to figure out what would best help them and then get them there. And so a lot of my time is spent with brand new shooters because, they'll come in and they'll be like, I didn't know that this place was here because we opened in March of 2020, right before all of the COVID-19 stuff happened. So nobody knew that we opened. And so now I have people coming in being like, can you teach me how to shoot a gun here? And I go, that's exactly what we do. And I go out there and work one-on-one with them for a little bit. Actually, the other day, this husband and wife couple came in who had not shot a gun in 25 years. And 35 years ago, he took the Masad Ayub class. And I was like, oh, what was that like 35 years ago, And so we got to visit and I got to learn a little bit about what it used to be like. And they were amazing shots. I almost didn't believe that they hadn't shot 25 years. But, I just got to go out there with them and run them back over the grip and stance and all of this stuff and answer some of their questions that they've had. And it just feels really good to be able to be keeping people safe,
And yeah, I agree with that. The other day I did a women's ladies' day on the range. And so we had women who had concealed carry licenses or some not, but that had questions, whatever those were. And so we did kind of like a walking, talking owner's manual kind of class where we say, what do you want out of it? What do you want to learn? And as a group, we take them through everybody's high points of what they're looking for, what they want to learn, what they want to do. And the thing that absolutely amazed me, was this group of women that more than 75% of them who brought guns brought the Smith & Wesson EZs in either 9mm or a 380. So I had, I typically have everybody clear the guns, I check the guns, and we have guns, we just lay them out on the table so that as we're talking and answering questions, you can pick up a gun, use that as the examples to show them how different things work. Well, it was the craziest picture because they were all EZs laying there. And I had never had that before. So I was like, everybody needs to take a picture of your own serial number before we lay the guns on the table because you need to take home the baby you brought, right? So we're work there.
We have a couple of Shield EZs in the rental case at work, and that does seem to help quite a few ladies. That's pretty popular.
Yeah, it really is, and it's surprising to me. And then we went into, do you get a lot of questions about like the micro guns for concealed carry as opposed to like the EZs or the mid-size guns? So what are your responses and answers on the micro stuff?
So that happens quite a bit. We will have an older gentleman come in with his wife, and he'll say, I bought this gun for her that is small enough that she can conceal carry it in her purse, and it's not working for her now. What do I do? And then, you have to explain to them that a smaller gun does not mean better. I mean, it completely depends on the person. The bigger the gun, the less recoil you're going to deal with. And so if you're giving her a firecracker that she can hold with 2 fingers, then that's not going to keep her safe. That's going to end up getting somebody hurt if she's not going to receive any formal instruction on it. It's that is a part of the job that I love as well, is these ladies come to me and they ask me, what do I do now? Like, how do I fix this? And I can answer their questions and get them shooting a gun that works for them and that they enjoy shooting, and that they can get their group worked down and down and down until they're shooting bullseyes every time. It's been amazing to see them not being able to hit paper with their tiny little guns that are, blue and pink. And then getting them on one of our rental guns, like our H&Ks or our SIGs or something, and then them being able to hit exactly where they're wanting to every single time. I mean, it lights up in their eyes. And I just want to tell people that if you conceal your gun in your purse, then it's going to be in a different dimension when you need it. You can't dig through and grab it in the blink of an eye. I mean, that's going to take a few seconds, and by then you might not have the chance to use it anymore. And so it feels really, really good that I can help people watch for that and help people avoid that problem later.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I think that the purse carry is an option for some women, but it is not just a drop it and forget it. There is so many things to know about purse carry, and the first one is to be competent with a larger gun so that you can be competent with a smaller gun. And so many people think that, a smaller gun is easier to shoot and it doesn't kick as much and it's like, no, it's counter to that. That's not quite how it works. And so I've seen women who are like, I need to be able to carry a small gun. What's the journey that I have to do to be able to do that? And if you're willing to put in the work, then that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of concealed carry purses that actually have unique pockets, not just a drop in the bag. They're designed specifically. And they have I call them a tell. There's something on the purse that tells you when you pick it up, how you pick it up, where the outside of the purse is, so that when you reach your hand, you know exactly what you're reaching for and what you're going to acquire. And when you practice that,
Mm-hmm. I guess most of the people that come in and ask me about purse carry are women who have been given a small gun and told to just put it in her purse and not have any formal training on it. Right. So I've kind of gotten a bad taste for purse carry, but I do know a few women who rock a P365 in their purse because that's just what their life, that's what's necessary for them,
Right. Yeah. And I tell people that there's a responsibility associated with that, with every firearm choice that you make. And so you've got to decide how you're going to live with that gun. And then how it fits into your world, how it fits into your life. And so a piece of that is, if you're going to carry in your purse, you can't walk in the door and set it down. You have to think about your firearm the same way you would think about a toddler. You have to know where it's at and what it's doing at all times. You can't let a stranger have it. You can't leave it alone. You can't walk away from it. You are responsible for it from the moment that you pick it up to the moment that you put it safely back to bed.
Shouldn't leave it in your car.
No, none of those things, right? And so when you start to draw analogies, people sort of get it. But it's trying to go on the journey with them to say, what do you need to do? What do you want to do? And how can I help you be successful in that? And I think it's great that you're doing that. What kind of a response do you get when you know so much? You absolutely know so much, and you're so young. Are they surprised? What do you get?
I mean, I get a whole host of different reactions, so I try to just be ready to kind of take whatever comes at me. Most of the time, people come in and kind of try to almost compete with me a little bit, see if they can trip me up a little bit. But that doesn't really work when you're just truthful about what you do and don't know. If they say, if they ask me a question that I absolutely won't know the answer to because I'd have to be studying, 30 years back in, Glock history to know exactly what the answer is, I just tell them, I haven't been trained about that yet. I'm like, why don't you tell me? How about that?
I'm open to this. Tell me, educate me, share with me. But you can't know everything. You can't be expected to know everything.
Exactly.
And an honest answer of, I don't know, but I can get you the answer, or we can ask somebody else who may know the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, I've noticed that my favorite instructors do that. I mean, they say, oh, I don't know the answer to that. Hold on. And they'll get back to you whenever they do figure it out, whenever they can go look up the correct resources or ask somebody who does know more about that. And it just feels a lot better than getting told whatever the instructor thinks is the right answer because they're too scared to admit that they don't know. I mean,
right.
Yeah, so I just kind of try to be truthful about it.
Right, and if somebody tells you an untruth, your alarm goes off. You know that it's, you know, it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. But, you know, there's a lot of people that try to trip me up, but then there are a lot of people who will just sit there and continue asking me questions and just continue to pick my brain. And, you know, that's always nice. It's always nice to feel supported and kind of backed up, like, oh, okay, I do know what I'm doing. I do know the answer to these questions. It's nice to feel that. I was a little bit expecting for more disbelief. You know, I'm going into this Second Amendment community as a 20-year-old female, and I was kind of expecting everybody to come and tell me, hey, you don't know what you're doing. Because, I mean, that's kind of how you would think it was. I mean, I was 16 when I was just starting into this journey, and I was kind of expecting that that's what I was going to be met with. But that's not really at all what I've been met with. You know, I've had absolute jerks come in and, you know, verbally harass me a couple times. But I mean, that happens with every single job. That happens to everybody at some point in their life. And honestly, about 90% of the men and the women that I deal with, they just are looking for everybody to get better. And they're just looking for better teammates, looking to see how they can do better teamwork. Just the community is a lot tighter knit and a lot more supportive than I thought it was going to be. And I don't think enough people my age know that, you know?
Okay, and I think that's a legit point. So what do we do, and how do we? I had a conversation. Somebody stopped me at the range the other day, and they were there with their toddler, and they were like, "I'm just dropping off this. I'm doing this, but I have questions." And I was like, "Go ahead." He's like, "So, do you think that?" And he was talking about a specific gun organization. Do you think they're tone deaf? Do they not have any idea what we want at all? He's like, you know, if you join, you get a belt buckle or a trucker hat. He's like, I don't want a belt buckle or a trucker hat. How do you get them to listen to the up and coming generations so that there's some involvement and credibility and viability? So he's asking me these questions. I was like, oh, those are really good questions, and I don't know that I have the answers. But what are your thoughts?
Well, like you said, I don't know if I have the answer, but I do have some thoughts. I've gotten a few of my friends my age to come to the gun range for a few different things. I've gotten one of my friends to come and participate in some leagues that we're doing. Before, she wasn't really interested in guns. That wasn't really, that wasn't the viewpoint that she aligned with, you know? A while ago, when she was a lot more against guns, she said that, I mean, carrying a gun, concealed carrying, is just asking for something like that to happen. I mean, you're just expecting it at that point. And like now she is competing in leagues and she's carrying, and, you know, I think the people on the outside of the community, I think they expect something different. You know, I think they expect that everybody is a know-it-all and that everybody, I don't even know. It seems like people my age are a little bit against it. And I think that social media has a really big impact on that. I think that I mean, news stories are getting shared and more people are hearing them than have ever heard them before. You know, we're hearing about stuff happening on all different sides of the world, and it is really easy to get stuff confused. And so it's really easy to think that guns are the problem. And I think letting them come in and learn on their own accord and on their own will is really helpful. They can come in and they can see that we are really reasonable people. You know, we're not going to sit there and tell you that everything you know is wrong. We're going to ask you, what questions do you have? Can I answer them for you? We're not going to treat you like you don't know anything. We're going to give you the information that you need, you know? I just think that there's a lot of wires that have been crossed. Mm-hmm. And so I have been, you know, just talking to the other people my age, and letting them in on some of the stories that happen day to day, you know, letting them have a little taste of what my life is like every day at the range, you know, letting them hear the funny stories and letting them hear the different people that I've instructed, you know. And I've had 3 of my friends who have not had any interest in guns come to the range and get instruction. I think once they know that I'm safe to lead them through this, mm-hmm. and that they trust me, that I'm not going to let them go into a gun range and get met with a chest beating, I know everything guy. Once they know that I'm just going to be holding their hand through it and answering the questions that they have, they're a lot more willing to come in there and get instruction. So I think it just matters how we carry ourselves, and if we are acting like know-it-alls, or if we are acting like chest-beating idiots, then nobody's going to want to listen to us. We have to be respectful people, and we have to be inclusive people.
So, yeah, and we have to offer, like, make the invitation, invite them to come, and make it comfortable for them when they get there. So that, because you never want to go somewhere where you don't know what's going to happen, what to expect, how you do it, any of that kind of stuff. When you go to a whole new experience and you don't know anything about it, you hope that you've got somebody who has some experience who can walk you through it the first time, because everybody wants to not look like an idiot or feel like it, even though we know they won't look like one. There's that internal feeling of everybody's looking at me and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't even know what questions to ask to be able to do the right thing, whatever that is. Yeah. So,
just being inclusive.
How do we get more people? How do we get more younger people?
Well, see, I don't know if I have a great answer. I think everything is really up in the air right now with everything that's going on in our country. I think that everybody is about as scared as they've ever been right now. Mm-hmm. I think everything is in a pretty scary place. And I think that the people that are scared of guns and think that we shouldn't be having them, and that, you know, people like us shouldn't be doing what we're doing, I think that they're just too... they've got too many other things on their plate right now to take another one, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're trying their hardest to keep themselves safe, and that is great. I just think that the information has been, the information that they have isn't all true, you know? I mean, they think that we're selfish for wanting guns, and that's not the case at all. But that's kind of what they've been taught, and that's what's been ingrained into their minds. And so to figure out how to get more younger people and more, just more people into our community is we have to accept people that are different than us, you know? Mm-hmm. We can't only invite people out to the gun range who already have guns, you know? We can't invite people on hunting trips who have already hunting. We can't we can't only invite people that wear tack pants. We have to invite people that wear leggings,
No, I so agree. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I fight so hard to keep my radio show on terrestrial radio, because then that target audience is whoever's driving down the road and changes the channel, as opposed to being a podcast where you find a pro-gun podcast because you're looking for a pro-gun podcast. And so making it so it's more available to everybody in their day-to-day operations, if you will.
Right. Yep, we have to start planting seeds. I mean, that's how you get everything started, is you just start planting seeds, take that first step. I started inviting my friends that have like the funny dyed hair and stuff, and inviting them to the range, because, I mean, I've never really seen anybody with crazy dyed hair on the range, and I thought it would be fun to bring them. And honestly, they had a great time. We play Battleship every time. And, if you start planting that seed, maybe they will go and tell one of their other friends, and maybe they'll go and tell one of their other friends, and then maybe down the line in a generation or two, maybe we'll all kind of be more on the same page, I'm hoping,
Mm-hmm. No,
we can't only invite people that look like ourselves.
Right. And we have to, one of the things is that we kind of, everybody functions in their own circle, whatever that circle is. And their circle may bump into another circle. And so they may have some people in their circle that's really in a different one. I kind of look at it like Olympic rings. If you circle always in the yellow ring, right? And I'm always in the green ring. And sometimes the yellow and the green ring touch each other and we interact. And sometimes it touches a different one. And so it's, to me, it's sometimes fun to take somebody from the green ring and somebody from the blue ring and somebody from the red ring and get them together to do something, because they would never run into each other any other time. You're the common denominator in that whole group.
Right. Yeah. And like, that's kind of what I've been trying to do with this series. It wasn't my idea. I was asked by my mom and John Korea, and they kind of got together and were talking and got the idea for this YouTube channel where I get to go around and I get to take classes with some of the best in the business. And I thought, that sounds like a great opportunity. Let's do it. And now that I'm a little bit farther down the road, I think that was a really great idea of them, because, I mean, they have enough connections. They could have gotten somebody like Brian Hill and asked him if he would come and be on their Active Self-Protection Extra channel, and if he could be doing all these videos, because he knows so much. He knows so much more than I do, so much more than I feel like I'll ever know. But they wanted to have a newbie. They wanted to have a younger female. They wanted to have somebody who, I mean, shoot, when I was like 14, I was kind of scared of 9mm pistols a little bit, I had only ever shot 22, so I was a little bit nervous about it when I was younger. And they wanted me. And they actually cared about what I had to say, and they cared about what I want to do with this career. I mean, that was one of the first questions that they asked me is, okay, so if we do this channel, where do you want to end up? This adventure.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what the, I can't even ask questions because I don't know what to expect to begin with, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, my answer was that I feel like a lot of people think that somebody like me can't do that. However old I was, like 18-year-old girl, they thought I wouldn't be able to do it. And I wanted to prove them wrong. I was bored. I'm just kidding.
Well,
but,
I think it's a brilliant move. And the brilliant move is that people will grow with you. And they'll watch you grow and say, well, if she can do that, I can do that. So they can go to this video and work their way up. And it's like, look at the transformation. Look at the how your journey is. And I think it's a great move. So how many videos do you have put together in your blog slash videos for the Chronicles of the Range Monkey?
Oh, more than 60.
Okay.
We put them on weekly, and I've been doing it a little bit over a year now. So that's been, it's been a while now, probably 65-ish right now. I really like that I get to go work with all the different instructors, and the people that watch the videos get to see how those instructors interact with somebody like me. They get to see which instructors are going to take me seriously as a student and which instructors are going to not, which instructors are going to focus more on the adult men. They get to see how the instructors will talk to me and how they will listen to me, and they don't talk over me, That was something I was a little scared about, was getting talked over. I don't know, just kind of in the back of my head, but no, people don't talk over me. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I like that I get to show that. So many comments on those videos are talking about, I don't know how you get on camera and do all of this for thousands of people to see. Like sometimes I don't pass the drills. Sometimes I have a bad shooting day, and we still post them anyway because that's how we roll. But the reason that I'm totally okay with doing that is I want everybody else to see you don't have to be great at this. You are a person, and it's important to show them that that's how they're going to be treated.
And I think that's great. And I think your point about sometimes you have a good day and some days you have a bad day. Sometimes everything works in your favor and you have an amazing day, and then the next time you're like, darn it, I could have done everything better, right? And
I had that day yesterday.
Really? But it's human. It's the human condition, and it's human nature. And so you just are like, yeah, well, I know I'll be better the next go around. Yeah.
Yep. There's always a better day coming. And I just want the next generation of ladies to know that, and to know that they don't have to be perfect to be here. There is plenty of room at this table,
Well, that's a great concept. So before we leave, what is your favorite gun? What is the gun that you carry or shoot or have on your hip or whatever?
Right. So I carry a Beretta PX4 compact Storm. I absolutely love that gun. I got asked 2 days ago, and I have been kind of trying to figure this out, what gun I would carry if I didn't have my Storm on my hip. And I just honestly don't know. I love my little gun. It's technically a compact. It is about the same size as every other full-size gun, though. I've seen the non-compact version, and it is just very large. So this one fits my hand really well. It has a decocker, which I really like. And that double action trigger is, it's pretty fun to shoot. It's one of the LTT triggers. And yeah, some of the days I shoot better with that long trigger pull rather than that short one. And I think that's kind of interesting. It's been really fun to understand the mechanics a little bit more. I don't think I would have understood the mechanics as well with like a striker fire. Because I mean, this is the first pistol that has been mine, that it's Natalee's gun. And so I'm really getting to know it, and like I learned how to take it all apart and clean it, put it back together. Every time I shoot, I get to see the hammer fall, and like I just feel like it is an extension of me almost. It's been really interesting to practice with it because it just works really well for me. So I is picking out their firearm that they're going to be carrying. You should try out different guns until you find that, and because a gun might feel good in your hand and it might fit you and you might like what it looks like, but it might not shoot great for you. You have to find something that works great with your hand, your body, your eyes. You just have to find the right puzzle piece for you,
Right. And, so some people are like, well, I shoot this, and so you should shoot what I shoot. And it's like, no, we can give you pointers and advice, but it's sort of like shopping for a husband or a wife. Everybody's got an opinion, but you've got to pick out the features that fit to your style and to your lifestyle. And
exactly.
And they're all a little different. So yeah, right now I kind of go in spurts as to what I shoot. And I've been on a 365 kick for a couple of years now.
There we go.
But I just ordered an FN, so we're gonna take that one for a spin when it gets here. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been a big. I knew I needed I want to go for a full size 9mm, and I'd narrowed it down to 3, and then pick the FN. So we'll see if I'm sorry for the choice or not. But I think that it's like a journey. You start now, and then you go, okay, now I've got it. Now I need to learn it. I need to learn its idiosyncrasies, and it needs to learn me.
Right. Yep. And we do a couple of different leagues at work, and us employees, we do compete in the leagues. We partner up with an intro student, and then we kind of just use it as a learning thing for them. We coach them through each drill. And so that's been really fun. One of the leagues is a rimfire one, and I am shooting a SIG P322. That's pretty new. I think this is the first 22 that SIG's made, if I know correctly, which I might not, but it is pretty fun to shoot. Those guns are nice.
Okay. Yeah, I have the Walther P22s, and I have a couple of them because there you go. I've been really wanting to shoot one of those, but I haven't found one yet. Yeah, they're pretty. I actually found a lime green one, and I wanted the extra long barrel in lime green, and they didn't have that combination. So I bought a black one in the extra long, and I bought the lime green one, and then I swapped all the parts, and so now my lime green one is exactly the way I want it, and then I sold it.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I really, I think if I did have to pick a gun to carry besides my Beretta, first instinct might be a Walther PPQ. We have one of those in the rental cases at work, and that one fits my hand the best. I like shooting that one the best. It's a really good size, and the recoil is pretty easy to manage. Recoil is pretty easy to manage, but that one works pretty well too. That's pretty fun to shoot. Walther makes a good gun.
Yeah, they do indeed.
Yeah. So
tell folks where they can find the Chronicles of the Range Monkey and where they can find you on all the social media aspects.
Yeah. So on YouTube, you can go to the Active Self-Protection Extra channel, and I have a little playlist called The Chronicles of the Range Monkey. I just started the whole Instagram thing. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do it, but you can just search the Range Monkey on Instagram. I've got a couple of pictures up there. I'm pretty new to the Instas. But yeah, and then if you want to come and see me, train with me, get a little bit of instruction, some time on the range, come and see me in Sioux Falls at the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance, and come back to the gun range.
Sounds good. Well, folks, Natalee Widner, The Chronicles of the Range Monkey. And like I said when I started, you're meeting her now. She is going to be somebody, a force to be reckoned with in the Second Amendment world. So pay attention, stay tuned, and you'll be able to say, I knew her when. I watched her from the beginning. And yes, indeed, she is amazing. So we'll be back next Friday with another amazing gal from the Women for Gun Rights and the different things that we all do in the name of the Second Amendment in some aspect, in some way. So Natalee, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
This is Women for Gun Rights with your host, Amanda Suffolk, part of the DC Project.